Hello and a very warm welcome to this webinar brought to you by Pinoy Visas and Set. Tayo po dito sa Auckland, naka-alert level 4 pa rin, so hope everyone is staying safe. Kahit naka-lockdown po tayo dito, once again, dito kami para mag-deliver ng webinar para sa ating mga kababayan. It's very good to have you again tonight. My name is Don and I'm part of the Pinoy Visas and Set team. Kasama ko po tonight is our Senior Licensed Immigration Advisor for Corporate Services, Hamneet Chaggy. Good evening, Hamneet.
Good evening, Dawn. How are you?
Doing good. How are you?
Great. Doing it lockdown. Hello, everyone listening to us in New Zealand and outside New Zealand. It's very great to have you here. My name is Hamneet, and I'm one of the Senior Licensed Immigration Advisor at Working In and for Pinoy Visas NZ. I may have done some visas for you, so you might be there looking out for this webinar. Hello to you all. And just for the ones who are listening to me for the first time, I have been in this industry for almost 9 years now. I came to New Zealand as a migrant myself on a student visa. And since 2015, I have been working as a licensed immigration advisor. Yeah.
Wow. What an introduction. Thank you so much, Hamneet, for that. I'm sure lahat sa atin o familiar tayong lahat kay Hamneet because she processed a lot of visas for both temporary and residence visas, mostly sa mga Filipinos kagaya natin. Also, since nag-open yung applications for border exemptions, si Hamneet po ay successfully nag-represent siya ng iba-ibang applications for border exemptions, allowing her clients and their families to enter New Zealand. And then, of course, apply for further temporary visas. So if you want po na i-represent kayo ni Hamneet, or if you want any help for your visa, border exemptions, work visa, residence visa, family visa, just please contact us or send us a message. All right, Hamneet, we are very ready. The Queen of Border Exemptions.
Oh, I absolutely love that title when you call me that, John. So yeah, for everyone, border exemption is my USP at this stage. And for this webinar, so that everyone knows what we will be discussing, is the New Zealand border current status. We will be discussing on border exemptions, on what's the current status, what is the update, border entry under critical health worker or border entry under other critical worker, and how we can assist you with the request to travel to New Zealand. So we will be having a brief discussion on this. Anyone who wants to have a thorough discussion and thorough consultation on any of these border exemption requests, drop us a message, contact us via Facebook or website. We will get in touch with you straight away.
Awesome. I know that we will learn a lot from you, Hamneet. So stay tuned po mga kababayan. Comment down below if you have any questions. Please write on the comment box your email address and we will send you free regular updates translated in Tagalog po about recent changes or updates sa immigration. All right. Hamneet, I know you want to give a quick reminder to everyone.
Yes, I will read it very specifically. Follow health instructions that are in place relating to COVID-19. Temporary and resident visa holder must follow health restrictions and instructions in New Zealand. If you do not comply with these requirements, you may be liable for detention or deportation for breaching the conditions of any visa. Also, another disclaimer, any immigration information that we are going to discuss today, do not take it as a specific immigration advice to your situation. For us to consult, for us to give you specific immigration advice, please contact us separately from this webinar.
All right, it seems like our viewers are very much excited. I can see some comments, Hamneet, already. Very excited. So, Hamneet, tell us about the status of New Zealand borders and the recent updates.
Okay, so as everyone knows, that immigration and New Zealand borders are currently closed. Immigration is still operating at alert level 4. Online applications are still getting processed. This is the latest update. And there are a lot of changes happening in and around the border situation. Specific update that I would like to give everyone listening out there, if you are a New Zealand citizen or a resident visa holder with a valid travel to enter New Zealand, you have the legal right to enter New Zealand. However, currently following countries currently meet the threshold of being a very high risk countries. And if you're traveling from any high risk countries, it is temporarily restricted to New Zealand resident and permanent residence visa holder as well, including partners and dependents. So the high-risk countries are Brazil, Fiji, India, Indonesia, Pakistan, and Papua New Guinea. So all these countries are currently at a high risk and they are temporarily restricted. A request for border entry is still open for the other countries. Whosoever makes us eligible can actually make a request. And it is also good to know that if you're entering New Zealand, if you're not in a quarantine-free travel zone, you still must go through a MIQ, which is the Managed Isolation and Quarantine Facility. A negative COVID test result is required to the most travelers to, migrating to New Zealand. And of course, there are several other reasons in how you can make a travel request in New Zealand, which one of them is humanitarian reasons. However, we will be very brief in today's discussion and we will be discussing critical help, other critical worker, and onshore teachers who can actually bring offshore families to New Zealand. So this is what we will tap on today. And anyone else coming to New Zealand must be coming for a critical purpose other than that. And yes, we will be discussing all of these pinpoints today.
Thank you so much, Hamleen. That's very detailed. So I will translate that in Tagalog. I will try my very best. Yeah. So sabi po ni Hamleen, ang New Zealand borders ay currently closed to almost all travelers. Ito po ay para mas stop yung spread ng COVID-19. So if you are a New Zealand citizen, a resident visa holder with valid travel conditions like PR, you have the legal right to enter New Zealand. However, if you are traveling from very high-risk countries, and emphasize po ni Hamnit na it is temporarily restricted, kahit po New Zealand citizen kayo, including partners and their dependent children. So ano po yung countries na high risk? Sabi po ni Hamnit ay Brazil, Fiji, India, Indonesia, Pakistan, and Papua New Guinea. So niremind po tayo ni Hamnit na if you are entering New Zealand, na hindi po kayo galing sa quarantine-free travel zone, kailangan niyo po mag-MIQ or Managed Isolation and Quarantine Facility, and negative test po ay required for most travelers para makapasok sa New Zealand. Of course, in-emphasize din ni Hamnit na there are a number of reasons kung ano po yung reason nyo to enter the New Zealand. Kasama po dito ang humanitarian reasons. However, dahil sa webinar na ito, we will highlight yung critical health, other critical workers, and the latest update po is yung onshore teachers. Pwede na po nilang dalhin dito ang kanilang dependent children and partners. Again, and-emphasize ni Hamnit na anyone else coming to New Zealand po, kailangan mag-submit ng kanilang interest or expression of interest. And then yung travel po ay dapat ma-convince natin ng Immigration New Zealand na ito ay critical at nasa critical purpose list. And also, New Zealand employers po maaring dalhin nila ang kanilang workers dito, other critical workers, category naman po yan. And then, just this week, may update tayo na na-receive about the onshore teachers.
Excellent. Thank you so much for translating, Non. I'm kind of now understanding all those little words now.
Tagalog words.
Yeah. So moving on, let's just first discuss what this new rules that they have recently introduced for onshore teachers. Anyone who is a registered teacher here, working here as a teacher in New Zealand, has got an opportunity to bring their family and dependent kids to New Zealand through a border exemption request. The little dicey and the little complex part is when you're living apart for a certain amount of time, you need to, present it in a certain manner that immigration should be satisfied that it's genuine and stable relationship, and that your relationship that you've maintained even by living apart. So this is where we as advisors come in picture, where we can discuss about this case individually and obviously guide you through on what documents to provide and what information to present in what manner. But this is an opportunity for onshore teachers in New Zealand who are looking to bring their families. Please contact us on the given details and we will be shortly get in touch with you soon. Yeah.
Thanks for having me. So in-explain ni Hamnit na yung partners and dependent children ng mga temporary visa holders na teachers po dito sa New Zealand. Good news is maaari ng dalhin dito ang inyong offshore family members. However, in-emphasize ni Hamnit na challenging yung present sa Immigration New Zealand na kayo po ay nag-live apart. Paano nyo na-maintain yung relationship? So if you think na eligible po kayo dito, mag-contact sa amin para ma-assess ng immigration advisors natin ang inyong individual circumstance and kung paano nyo ma-represent ng maayos yung inyong living together evidence, genuine and stable. So send us a message. All right. So
Yes.
remain tuned po mga kababayan. If you have more questions, kung gusto niyo po magpa-assist sa aming advisor na si Hamid at sa aming mga licensed immigration advisor, mag-contact lang po sa atin.
Yeah.
So Hamid, you mentioned about critical health workers. Can you tell us more about it?
Yes. Critical health worker is a very extremist and very registered and very highly qualified people coming into New Zealand. Deep down, I've got full respect because there are people at frontline who are actually helping us to survive in this COVID times. And I absolutely would like to take this time as an opportunity to thank everyone around who has been helping in this sector. Now coming back to the immigration instruction. Essential health and the disability workers are currently, or the new employees who have been working in the health services sector. There are certain roles that immigration has publicized on the immigration website who has got an opportunity to work here in New Zealand. Say, for example, registered nurses who have been invited by Nursing Council of New Zealand. They can come to New Zealand as a critical health worker, oncologist, physiotherapist, aged care, healthcare, disability support worker. There are many other occupations which are actually listed who have got an employment offer from DHB or other private or government healthcare services. They can actually apply through critical health worker exemption request. I will later also discuss in detail what are the steps to apply for exemption request. But in nutshell, whosoever is working in a health or disability services who gets an offer from the New Zealand employer who is offering here health and disability services again can actually come under a critical health worker. Now, this is sometimes it becomes really complex when we have to evaluate which role requirement and how you get qualified as comparable to New Zealand health service market. If you've got anyone who is actually working in the health services and who wants to migrate in New Zealand, to get in touch with us, we can actually do the assessment on certain occupations and we'll guide you through what you exactly need to do even to qualify to come to New Zealand in future.
Great. Thank you so much for that, Hamid. I'll translate it in Tagalog para sa ating mga kababayan. So, in-emphasize po ni Hamid na under critical health workers, so pwede po natin, usually yung mga nurses po na internationally qualified, na in-invite po ng Nursing Council of New Zealand, sila po ay, kumbaga, part ng category na ito. So, again, maraming occupations na nakalist. Kasama po dito ang paramedics, oncologists, and then iba pong mga workers na nagde-deliver sa ating health services dito sa New Zealand. In-emphasize ni Hamid na yung critical health or disability workers, maaari po itong nag-work sa mga DHBs, mga government or private health or disability services. So si Hamid po ay sinabi din niya na depende po ito kung anong requirement ang dapat niyong kung saan kayo magka-qualify. So it's best na mag-contact kayo sa amin, i-check ni Hamid or ng ating licensed immigration advisors kung ano yung best para sa inyo.
Yeah. And also the best part of this is you can also include your partners and your dependent kids in the request. So it's not only that you have to travel first, you can also bring your immediate, your wife, your husband, your partner, and your kids along with this request to New Zealand.
Right, that's good news, Hamid, right? That
yeah,
they can bring
news.
their partner and dependent. So sabi po ni Hamid, pwede niyo pong dalhin dito, of course, ang partners or dependent children niyo, i-include niyo dito sa request na ito, as long as, of course, ma-prove niyo yung mga requirements. So
that's right.
Send us a message if you know someone or if you think you qualify, to check po ni Hamid then for you. All right, that's very detailed, Hamid. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
I think at this juncture, we would like to greet our top fans.
Oh, absolutely. I could see there are Ryan, Rick, and Maritis is the top fans for our Pinoy Visas page. Thank you so much, guys, for constantly, putting us, liking us, and sharing our page. We really appreciate it. And viewers listening to this, you can be one of the top fans as well. Just like, share our page.
Yes, that's true. That's right, Hamid. And of course, register on our website,
That's right.
pinoyvisas.co.nz, to stay up to date with the latest updates from INZ, tailored for Filipinos and translated in Tagalog. So now, Hamid, can you please give us a brief explanation about other critical workers for border exemption?
Absolutely. So this is particularly is kind of my USP that I was talking on the webinar earlier, border entry under other critical worker. So this is something which is a request made from a supporting agency or the employer itself who wants to bring in the critical worker to New Zealand under the current border restrictions. So the employers who have identified certain roles, which is a skill shortage in New Zealand, without whom the project or anything that their employer is working on will not move ahead. That's where this border exemption has been introduced by Immigration New Zealand to help those employers to bring certain people in New Zealand under this border restrictions. There are different categories to follow under this category. There is one short term, long term, and under the approved class. Short term is people coming in for less than 6 months. They need to qualify by having some unique skills or experience or technical specialist skills which are not readily obtainable in New Zealand. With readily obtainable in New Zealand, what I mean is where immigration or as in the employer who's looking for a certain kind of skill needs to invest heavily in time, which they don't have because they have got a project deadline. That's why they want to bring in these certain workers for less than 6 months to come to New Zealand, and must be a time critical role. With time critical, definition for this specifically is if the person does not come to New Zealand, the project or the work or the event that he will be coming here to be working on will significantly be compromised and will have significant financial loss if this will be incurred. So these are the two main factors which essentially everyone who is critical in nature must meet. For the long term, either of the two they meet, plus they would have to meet the earnings. There needs to be at least twice the median wage rate. So that's the in a nutshell the brief description of these categories. And with long-term skill shortage, with the long-term critical role is that people coming here for more than 6 months, where their role requires to be in New Zealand for more than 6 months because the project is in a certain timely manner that they need to come here with their skills and with their experience, which is not available in New Zealand. So these are the two specific things, criteria or categories that we can lodge under. Since last year, since this category was opened, we have had a lot of success in bringing in specialist skills in New Zealand on behalf of the employers that we have done requests till date. So it's been a good category to tap on where people do find it challenging, but that's where we make it very easy process for them.
Yeah, of course. As always, you receive
Yeah.
approvals on this. Right. So thanks for that, Hamid. So in-emphasize ni Hamid, or I'll translate it in Tagalog.
Yes.
Sabi po niya is employers and supporting agencies maaari pong magdala ng workers dito sa New Zealand kung sila po ay sa tingin nila pardon, other critical workers. So meron po itong 3 categories. However, diniscuss ni Hamid is yung worker needed for short term, which is less than 6 months in total. Yung next naman po is for long-term role, which is more than 6 months, and another that is for an approved class, which is mamaya i-discuss niya po. So yung short-term critical workers naman po, kailangan makonsider ito if they have unique experience, which means may technical or specialist skills kayo na not readily obtainable in New Zealand, meaning wala ang skills dito sa New Zealand, or may nag-undertake sila ng time critical role. Dinefine po ni Hamid ang time critical role. It means that yung person po, if the person does not come to New Zealand, pag hindi po siya pumunta dito para dun sa project or dun sa work or sa event, ito po ay magiging matitigil o magkakaroon ng mako-compromise. Also, meron pong significant financial cost ang may incur kapag hindi po dumating yung worker na yun. And for the long-term critical workers, in-emphasize po ni Hamid na dapat ma-meet niya yung short-term workers along with other criteria. Kasama po dito yung mga salary range. So, yeah, yun po yung isa sa mga explain ni Hamid. Anything else, Hamid, that you want to add?
Yes, I would also like to tap on briefly on the approved classes of workers. Anyone who is under the list of the approved class of workers, which is approved by the government agency or by ministers, whosoever you think that you are under that list, we will obviously, you can see it on the immigration website or on our website. Just contact us. We will obviously review the information that you have, and we can dig in more, and will advise you if you can make through the border exemption request or not.
Awesome. So in emphasizing po ni Hamnita, meron pang isang category which is yung approved classes of workers. Na ito po yung parang approved class of workers ng ministers and nominated ng authorized government agencies. So sabi po ni Hamnita, if you think na qualified ka or kilala niyo ng someone about this, contact us, send us a message para po ma-assess mismo ni Hamnita and one of our licensed immigration advisors ang inyong circumstance. All right. Thank you so much for that again. Very helpful. But now, how can we be of assistance to our kababayans? What will be the next steps?
Yeah, so I would just like to give this message to all our viewers who are actually looking at this webinar. Some might find it an easier process. Some may not. Some may find it very challenging. I find other critical worker to be a little challenging, where we need to prove that immigration, that this role, that this person is kind of a unicorn, basically. So in order to process that, it's quite challenging for us to dig in and to, present it in a manner. As you know, these border exemptions are divided into two stages. The first stage is expression of interest, which is basically an online request where we need to put a potential information where we know that immigration is going to consider, and that only limited information must prove that this person is critical in nature. And second, once the EOI is accepted, second stage is invitation to apply, where you have to make a formal application to immigration, and then swear on the visa is approved if the officer is satisfied with all the requirements. I feel that every application comes with its own challenges or comes with its own complexities. If you've got any little doubt, just contact us. We are right here. We can help you. We've got a team of brilliant advisors in working in who have got experience in dealing with so many complex applications, who can help you and guide you all throughout this process. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Hamid. So, in explaining Hamid na ito po ay a bit challenging na application. Are you still challenged by this, Hamid? Or yeah, but sabi po niya again, merong two-stage na process. The first stage po is kailangan natin mag-submit ng expression of interest, and emphasize ni Hamid na yung limited information po na i-explain po ito ng maayos, parang i-argue sa Immigration New Zealand na kailangan niyo po talagang pumunta dito. And then once the Immigration New Zealand po ay nag-agree that you have a critical purpose to enter New Zealand, i-issue po sila ng invitation to apply. And that's the second stage. So yung second stage po, once na yung ITA is na-issue na, i-invite kayo para mag-apply for critical purpose visa or variation of your conditions. Again, it's a time-consuming application. If you are in doubt, sabi po ni Hamid, contact us, send us a message. Hamid will check it for you.
Definitely. I agree with you, John.
It is indeed a time-consuming and intense application for sure.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Hamid, but I can see that there are a lot of Filipinos that are confused about this process. But I can see that as my colleague, you've been receiving a lot of approvals lately.
Yes.
Since we started this service to our clients. So you're indeed an expert on this area.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was indeed a blessing year for all of us, I guess, that we could have got all the approvals. Yeah.
All right. At this stage, Hamid, we are happy to answer our
questions
of our viewers. I will check on them. Hold on. All right. I can pick this question. Hello, Hamid and Don.
Hi.
My question is, I am working as a human resource staff in a hospital here in the Philippines. Am I qualified under the critical health worker?
Thank you for asking this question. This is actually very brilliant. And I have got a lot of other inquiries who think that they are actually working in a health service entity but in a different departments. Critical health worker, for this category, only those people will qualify who are working in a list of occupations which are listed on the website, and that we will share it obviously on our website. Say, for example, if you're a registered nurse, you're oncologist, you're physiotherapist, you're research staff, radiologist, all these occupations which are directly linked to delivering health or disability worker services would actually qualify for the critical health worker. Other than that, who are working in different departments, but in a health service company or employer, would unfortunately do not qualify for this category.
Thanks for that, Hamid. I was just browsing on the other questions. I'm gonna pick
Yeah,
this.
I could
this
see
one.
your eyes roaming here.
So, okay. Again, he said, "Kamusta po?" Don and Hamid said, "How are you, Hamid?" And Don,
Hi, I'm
"You're
all
good?"
well. How are you?
Well, here's the question. I think I qualify under the other critical worker scheme.
Okay.
Can I apply this on my own?
Firstly, if you think that you're eligible for other critical worker, congratulations. I think sinking in first is the first step to get onto this. But this request must be applied through a supporting agency or by an employer who is actually supporting you and wants you to bring it to come to New Zealand. I would suggest to contact us with all your details, and if you've got an offer from a New Zealand employer, we can obviously contact the New Zealand employer on behalf of you and get the ball rolling.
Awesome. Again, I have this, I think, one last question as we are running out of time. Hello, Hamid. I am a partner of a New Zealand citizen. Do I need to request for border exemption?
If you are a partner of a New Zealand citizen, if you're stuck offshore and not from a high-risk country, no, you do not have to. You can simply, I don't know, it's not simply, but you have to obviously follow the process and come to New Zealand.
Yes. But however, I think, Hamid, they should contact us if they want to specifically check in detail.
Yeah. That's why I put a disclaimer just earlier in this webinar when we started, that please do not consider this as an immigration advice. Please contact us if you want any specific advice currently on your situation. We will obviously, just a sleek of question doesn't give you immigration information. We would have to dig in more, get to know all the details, and then would give you a proper assessment.
Hamid will check on that.
Yeah.
As the queen of this immigration border exemptions. But I wish we could pick more questions, Hamid, but I think we're running out of time.
Yes.
I'm sure our viewers
there's always another time. You can always contact us, people listening to us. You can contact us directly. You can drop a message through a messenger, or you've got the details by following our Pinoy Facebook page or the website. You can contact us directly. Our team of advisors will get in touch with you soon.
That's for sure, Hamid. Thank you. Any last words for our viewers?
For everyone listening, just take care of yourself. People in Auckland, we are just a little stretch here. Hopefully we go to level 3 next week. We really, really hope. But other than that, let's just take care of yourself. Spend time with your family. This is the best time we've got. Just take care. God bless everyone.
Thank you so much, Hamid. It's so wonderful having you tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Salamat.
That's all.
This is how you do salamat.
Salamat. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye. It's good to see you. Have a good night.